Evening. I'd like to call to order our Monday, May 10th, 2021 board discussion meeting. We'll begin with our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our mission is to educate, empower, and inspire excellence. This is a meeting of the school board in public for the purpose of conducting school corporation business and is not considered a public community meeting. There will be time for public participation as indicated on the agenda. Our meeting is being live streamed and all board members were provided with the background information to the various items on the agenda in preparation for tonight's meeting. We do have public comment forms up here by Attorney Elwood. If anyone would like to address the board at the appropriate time, just come up, grab a form, fill out the form, and return it to the board table. And again, we will bring you up at the appropriate time in the meeting. We begin this evening with our student and staff presentations, the Portage Township Education Foundation presentation of grants. Welcome.
That makes it nicer. Well, good evening. Due to the pandemic, the Portage Township Education Foundation could not hold most of its major fundraisers for the past year or probably even year and a half. But luckily, we were able to secure enough funds that we are able to fund 10 grants for the next school year. So at this time, we have most of our grant recipients here tonight, and they'll just introduce themselves and give you a brief overview of the exciting things that they're going to do with our students next school year.
Good evening, I'm Sherry Andrich. I'm one of the special education teachers at our high school. My grant is for an inclusionary coffee cart for our students, for the teachers in the mornings and at lunch. That will be including our applied skills students as well as our ELL students and anybody else who would like to participate. Very good.
Hi, oh, that's too loud. I'm Sue Newton, and I teach elementary physical education at Jones School. My grant that was awarded to me is for our school to have a Gaga pit installed on the playground. This grant is for the whole school to use during their recess time, during their physical education period, and as an incentive for the classroom teachers as well as the children. It'll give them an opportunity to have something else to do at their recess time that involves their eye-hand coordination, their dodging skills, work on that, their striking, strategic planning, and have a good time as well. It's a fast-paced game that doesn't discriminate against gender, age, disabilities, and athletic abilities. So I'm excited to bring it to the schools so all the kids in grades K through 5 can be involved with that. So thank you.
Thank you. When we're all done, we'll bring all the recipients up here to the front for a photograph too. So if you'd sit tight, and I know there's some comments from the board too, so we'll let you get the awards first. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Heidi Thibodeau. I teach here at the high school, and my grant is for a summer literacy program. I teach in the looping program here, which is very near and dear to my heart. And so I have, the PTF has allowed me to purchase 2 novels for my kids to read this summer. And we're going to meet 2 times during the summer, have a book club, and I will bribe them with pizza and snacks to talk about the books that we're reading to hopefully stave off that summer drop in their reading skills. Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Brian Bernanke. I'm the business department chair here at Portage High School. The $1,000 that I had applied for was to partner with an organization called Athletes for Charity. I believe Dr. Finley, you worked with them before. What our students do is basically meet 1 to 2 times a week for a 1-hour virtual call with sports representatives and all different types of careers, National Football League, Major League Baseball. They actually met once this year with Chicago Bear Charles Leno to talk about actual sports careers and life choices that they can make about athletics. I should also add that they actually hired one of our students. He's a junior, Mr. Bryce Hufford. He's actually worked with them as a virtual assistant this entire year, and they've been very impressed with the quality of students that Portage has because he's done such I'll be talking all day, because he's done such a good job with them. He's been competing with different sports people throughout the United States, and she loves Bryce, the lady who runs it, so thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Eric Schmiedel. I am a PLTW teacher at Willow Creek Middle School. I'm here to represent myself, along with Marcella Haupt and Jeremy Swindle. We each received grants for some materials in order to help bolster the already amazing STEM organization, or the STEM education that we already have. Some Sphero minis, some Sphero bolts, as well as Sphero spectrums to help make the computer coding and graphic design portions of our program a little bit more exciting and entertaining for the students. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Mindy Molaski, 6th grade language arts at Fagley Middle School, and my grant is called All Are Welcome, Diverse Picture Books to honor all learners. We adopted Pearson, you heard me talk, a year ago, probably at the board meeting, or over a year ago now. And Pearson does a really nice job honoring all students, and we felt like in our classroom we were lacking that. We read a lot of picture books because they're accessible to our kids, they teach great skills, they spiral through best practices and really help them, learn the information that they need to learn in 6th grade. So we are so appreciative of these books, and we thank you very much. We've already read some and we've received applause, so they're great books. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Taria Taylor, principal at Ellsworth Elementary School. My grant is for Mountain Math, and we were fortunate enough to receive a Mountain Language grant last year, which actually provided us with this, which doesn't look like much, but it is actually a flip chart for centers for our class. So our students can review literacy skills and also be enriched on literacy skills. And the Mountain Math that we are going to receive is actually going to be a kit for a bulletin board. So one of their bulletin boards will be changed into a Mountain Math bulletin board. So the students will be able to be enriched and remediated in math and language, thanks to the PTF grants that we received in the past 2 years. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kiri Weaver at Fagley Middle School is also receiving a grant and isn't able to be with us tonight. But one of the exciting things that happened with his grant was while I was working with the developer on pricing and ordering his materials, the developer was so excited that his materials had value to a classroom that about a week or so after I talked to him, he reached back out to us and shared his excitement and offered us a 10% discount on Kiri's materials, which was nice, and will offer a discount to any parents or students or staff during the next school year for any of his things that he offers too, which is neat. And he will give 5% back to PTEF, so that was pretty exciting. And then he took it a little bit further and he said, I value education, and I value that this teacher sees that my materials can help students. And so he is going to be working with Kiri during the next school year, and they're going to pilot the materials and see if they can't put their knowledge of his materials with Kiri's ideas for helping students and develop a really strong educational program. So that was an exciting thing that happened with that. One other thing, I know Wilma has mentioned to you that perhaps about 2 months ago, the Indiana Youth Institute had 3 quick grants for just public education foundations. And so we quickly got 3 busy Portage Township School staff to write up a proposal in those 3 areas, and we're so pleased because we have been given funding for 2 of those. So one of them is a $2,500 grant that will be used for professional development this summer. The major focus is to how to continue to deal with the challenges in the COVID era, which we will still be, dealing with in next fall. And the second grant for another $2,500 will be used to help support our high school students in college and career readiness. So PTF is excited that we can offer another $5,000 to Portage Township students and staff. We continue to be very grateful for your support for what we're doing. It's wonderful to work side by side with all of you, and exciting to see the things that we can give to Portage students to give them the best that we can all give them. So thank you so much.
Thank you. We're also thankful for you and the work that the organization does in support of our teachers and ultimately our students, so it's very much appreciated. Does anybody from the board have any comments for the foundation? I'm sure Trustee Vasquez does. She keeps us updated every meeting on the happenings, so Wilma, if you would, please.
Yes, I would like to also congratulate the recipients. I know that our students are going to benefit from these special projects, including STEM, diverse learners, mountain math, recess, summer literacy, novels, and it's just a wide range of experiences that they're going to have because of these grants. And I also want to say a special thank you to the board that is comprised of volunteers that spend many hours attending meetings, fundraising events, promoting and celebrating education, and finding ways to support our schools in so many ways. So I commend the board, and can only speak, I want to speak for this board of trustees that we are very grateful for each and every one of you, so thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah, I'd like to add to what Trustee Vasquez just said. I don't know if Mr. Spiegel's here or not.
Oh, there he is. You do have fun activities in your class. I want to call that out. The Uber Eats projects went over very well, if it's still going on, or I don't know if it's over or not, but you do have some fun things, and I'm happy to hear that you have the Spheros coming, because I know the kids will love that. Especially, we had our little demo a couple of years ago. I think it was at Myers Elementary is where we had that demo, which was awesome. And I also wanted to say about Bryce. Yes, Bryce does a great job with the Athletes for Charities program. It is an awesome opportunity for our kids that are in sports to be able to partner with a national nonprofit with sports athletes from all over the country. And it's great that he's having that experience to put on his resume for work-based learning. So I'm very happy to hear that he'll be continuing to work with that organization as well. And thank you so much to Portage Teachers Education Foundations for the wonderful work you do. In partnership with our schools and our kids and our teachers, there's nothing else like that, the work that you guys do. So keep up the great work and be encouraged. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Yeah, I just, excuse me, like to echo a lot of the sentiments here. And then the teachers that applied for the grants, kudos to you for seeking out, extra opportunities to help facilitate the learning for your kids, and to the PTF to help with that support.
Great, thank you. Any other comments? Dr. Alanis, anything?
Just the amazement, because, even in a COVID year, to see all of these grants and the creativity that went into developing them, and knowing all of the responsibility on our teachers' plates, and still wanting to see what else they can do to bring to the learning environment that will help the kids be engaged and practice those skills of, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and creativity. So again, just always very impressed, but, during this COVID year, it amazes me.
All right, thank you. Well, we'd love to have you come up here to the stage and light, maybe get a picture of everybody, all the recipients and the board members that are here. So please come up to the stage.
We're all going up?
No, I'm just going to get out of the way.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
They don't need me in the background.
Oh, come on.
As they're coming up, I'd like to remind all who are watching and present here to continue to support the foundation by payroll deductions. If you get your license plate, you could always ask for the PTF, and they will get a portion of that cost. And there will be a special event that is being planned for October. So we hope that everyone that can donate and contribute and enjoy the fun activities that are planned, please do so.
Great, thank
You got
you.
it? Thank you.
And as I always say, you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting if you'd like, but if you have other things to do, we understand. We'll give you a few minutes. Okay, next up on our agenda, we have the summer school plan presentation. Dr. Stevens.
Well, first of all, we're very glad that we can actually offer a summer school this year in person, and that will be the case for our actual remediation. Will be in-person instruction. We will be offering pre-K through 12, and when I say pre-K, we have a kinder camp that we have worked with United Way for several years. This year they came to us and said early on that they simply didn't have the donations to cover that. And we went back to the drawing board on our end, and we would like to offer that through our own funding, just because we feel it's so valuable for those incoming children. So we will continue to offer a kinder camp as well. We would like to offer K through 5 on June 7th through July 1st. We had considered adding an extra week to that, but neither end worked very well, because if we went earlier, the children and the teachers would have gone directly from school to continue the next week without any kind of break. And if we go any further than that, we go into what most high school people know as the dead week, where we cannot have athletic practices and the like, and that's an area that we try to avoid offering things. Now, you'll see that our high school does have to offer that in order to get credits in, but we try to avoid that week simply because we want to give families a full week of complete openness for vacation and travel. So we would like to have our K to 5 go June 7th through July 1. They go Monday through Thursday. There will be transportation offered. At this point, we have 325 elementary students signed up for this summer school opportunity. We have 270 middle school students signed up. And then currently we have 240 students signed up for session 1 of high school. I say session 1 number more confidently than session 2 because some of them may change their mind, and we will let them do that and add to that during that second session. High school, the first dates for session 1 will be, where are we at? High school is June 2nd, and so they will start right after school gets out. So they'll be actually going back to school before graduation, but June 2nd through June 24th. And then June 28th through July 21 is the second session without having any classes on July 5th. So they will have an extended weekend if they have family travels that do want to happen that way. All of these will come with breakfast, snacks, and for the high school, lunch. For the younger students, we end before a lunch would be served. But having said that, there will be the lunches that we've talked about and had throughout the course of the school year. And I want to thank, that brings me to some thanks. I want to thank both Dawn Kelly and Scott Tokach, who are new to their jobs but have jumped right in and made sure that these endeavors are going to continue the way we have asked them to happen in the past. So we certainly appreciate their work on those. In addition to this, you heard Heidi Thibodeau mention literacy over the summer, and one of the things that we are trying to do is to offer open media centers during the summer at all of our elementaries, and we are working with our current media aides in order to make that work for both their schedules in terms of having 2 people involved at all times so that there can be somebody at the door and then someone at the media center. welcoming people in so we know that they're safe and involved. And then also somebody working with our AR system to try to accelerated reader and STAR in order to, we are working on building a bit of a school-wide challenge at each one of those to try to incentivize some reading over the summer. This is a different than we've had in the past in terms of offering our media centers to be open. We've also offered the opportunity for after summer school, later in the summer, for teachers to offer a 4-day mini lesson in literacy. And now to the part that I hate to bring up, but quite honestly, we don't have a great deal of interest. And I attribute that to the hard work and the hard overtime work that we have asked people to put in education lately. There are a lot of people who are simply tired, and we have tried very hard to try to balance our expectations with the reality of some people just need some rest. And that's children, that's families, and that's our teachers as well. And so we are trying to offer the best we possibly can in terms of remediation, because we know everybody has learning loss, but we also know that they need some downtime in order to rejuvenate, and in order to be the best that they can be, they need a little bit of time. So we're trying to balance those and make sure that we have opportunities, yet we also have some time for families to kind of renew their knowing of each other and things like that. We've heard many stories of families who have said, you know, we had to put off our travel plans last year, and we want to do it this year. And we're going to honor that. In terms of attendance at summer school, of course it's important. But if a child has a family vacation and they're like, we're going to be more lenient than we have had been in the past in order, if they want to show up for 4 days and then skip a couple, we're going to understand that. We're going to try to work real hard to catch them up in those situations, but we want to honor those family obligations that they have as well. So with that, in the past I have always asked for your approval of that, so I assume that that's an appropriate thing to ask for you to vote on the approval of this. And then I will bring back next board meeting the number of hires when we have confirmed the number of children that are actually going to attend. I don't want to overextend us because we have to have an average of 15 students in each classroom in order to get federal or state funding for summer school. And so we are trying to invite every child that we possibly can and then figure out how many teachers we need to make that happen. And so I don't have the exact number right now because we're going to continue to reach out to our children and offer those families those opportunities. Be happy to answer any questions.
I just have one. Okay, so this is a unique year. We didn't have this last year. And I know our wonderful athletes are still going to want to participate in sports. In the past, I know that they were able to get breakfast before they would go to practice sometimes, and then the lunch afterwards. Is that still going to be in effect?
Are you talking about athletes that are in summer school or just in general?
Just in general.
Yes,
I know it's been
yes.
years. Okay, all
Yes,
righty.
yeah, that will continue.
Okay,
Or
thank you.
at least that's what we have. We've talked with Dawn, and she is going to continue with that. And yeah, that we are also going to continue and this is not really so much summer school, but just in general, but we're going to continue to try to do everything we can to offer those meals across the board and offer those opportunities for those families as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So in terms of devices, will students be given another device, or what's the plan for materials?
So I'll defer a little bit to Dave Lesich, but we are going to take that into consideration. They need to have those devices come in at some point. Our IT people simply don't feel confident that we are going to continue to be able to provide the same services that we have if they don't get an opportunity to look at those devices, clean up those devices, sometimes literally clean up those devices, sometimes electronically clean up those devices. But we are, in the interim, when they don't have devices in their hands, our teachers will be working with the traditional paper and pencil with kids. Putting a book in people's hands still works very well. And so we'll kind of hybridize it over the summer because they do need some time to update those devices and switch out some of those devices as well.
Mr. Lesich?
Dave can address it a little bit too.
Yeah, so middle school, they've asked just to borrow carts. So we're going to take Sailor, South Haven, and Jones Chromebook carts to Willow Creek so they can sort of use them in and out during class time. K to 5 will be at Aylesworth, where they're going to keep those carts for the duration of summer school. And then the high school, we do our best to check out the summer school iPads right back to the kids, as long as they're not damaged. This is a little unique. We haven't seen these devices in a year and a half, and the ones that we're starting to see, you can tell they haven't been seen for a year and a half. So, but yeah, we're going to try to meet their needs. One of the things that Dr. Stevens and I did talk about is some of it, we need some paper and pencil again. And because some of the kids, their eyes are starting to go across because they're on the devices so much. So we're starting to hopefully have a combination. Also, the high school will have some labs. Middle school has some labs, and also elementary will have their makerspace open, hopefully, if they need to have some other space there. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Great, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next on our agenda is our good news report.
Do we need a vote?
Hello, my name is Natasha Marco. I am a senior at Portage High School, and I am a public relations intern for the PTS district. Mrs. Caballero has been named the 2021 District 1 Middle School Principal of the Year by the Indiana Association of School Principals. Bagley Middle School Assistant Principal Mrs. Jennifer Combs nominated Mrs. Caballero earlier this school year. Her nomination made it to the top 3 in District 1, which put her in contention for the top award. Following a short period of voting, Mrs. Caballero received the news that she had received the title. Our PHS students learned about career options in healthcare at last month's Healthcare 360 event. Speakers from St. Mary Middle Medical Career, Northwest Health, North Shore Health Centers, and Ivy Tech explained the various career paths in the healthcare industry and provided them with options for reaching their goals. Congratulations to Willow Creek Middle School 8th grade student Elena Hennings for being accepted to the Junior All-State Orchestra. The orchestra is made up of the top middle school musicians from around Indiana. This is a huge honor. We are so proud of you and know you will represent Portage well. Congratulations to the PHS Thespians on 3 wonderful performances of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. The Thespians offer 2 in-person performances as well as an online option. Great job to the cast, crew, and pit band. The Unified Track and Field team has had a strong start to their first ever season at Portage High School. Unified Track and Field is a unique program new to PHS this school year that pairs student athletes with and without disabilities to train and compete in track and field events. This co-ed sport is sanctioned by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and coached by PHS teachers Mr. Todd Strom and Mrs. Sherry Androvich. The athletes participated in their first meet on April 15th on their home track. Mr. Strom said the Unified student athletes and their Unified student partners did a wonderful job and demonstrated success at the meet. Portage High School seniors took home awards and scholarships following last week's Senior Awards Night. Thank you to all of our community partners who generously offered scholarships to our students. We are Portage proud.
Remiss if we didn't say District 1 Principal of the Year, Mrs. Caballero. Congratulations. How exciting. What a great honor. Thank you for all your hard work.
Congratulations.
Okay, next. Do we have any adjustments to the agenda from the board? If not, we'll move on to board reports. Anybody have a board report for us today? None? Okay. Next, we have our superintendent's consent agenda, which has got our personnel report from May 10th, our donations for May 10th, and facility use request report. Do we have a motion to approve the superintendent's consent agenda?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
We have the motion and a second. Any discussion? And call roll, please.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez.
Yes?
Trustee Maleta.
Yes.
Trustee Williams, yes. Trustee Wilkie.
Yes.
Next, we have our board's consent agenda, which have the minutes of the special board meeting hearing on lease from April the 26th, 2021, minutes of the special board meeting hearing on the additional appropriations of April 26, 2021, and meeting minutes of our regular board meeting from April 26, 2021. Do we have a motion to approve the board's consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
We have the motion and a second. Any discussion? And call the roll, please.
Trustee Vasquez.
Yes?
Trustee Maleta.
Yes.
Trustee Williams, yes. Trustee Wilkie.
Yes.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Okay, next we move on to our old business. We have the ratification to advertise notice of execution of lease. Do we have a motion to approve? I don't need to read this again, do I?
No, you do not.
Okay. Do you have a motion to approve the ratification to advertise the notice of execution of lease?
I'll make a motion to approve the ratification to advertise the notice of the lease.
Second.
You have the motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, call roll, please.
Trustee Maleta.
Yes.
Trustee Williams, yes. Trustee Wilkie.
Yes.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez.
Yes?
Next, we have the ratification of advertisement of notice to sell bonds. Do we have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have the motion and a second. Any discussion? And call roll, please.
Trustee Williams, yes. Trustee Wilkie.
Yes.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez.
Yes?
Trustee Maleta.
Yes,
I'm sorry, Mr. President, you need to read that one in its entirety.
I do. Okay.
Oh, I'm kidding.
That's really a long one. The other one was short. Thank you.
That's
I was going to have to divert that one. All right, we'll move on to our new business. Now we have the approval of our summer school plan for 2020 and 2020-21.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
You have the motion in a second. Any discussion? And call roll, please.
Trustee Wilkie.
Yes.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez.
Yes?
Trustee Maleta.
Yes.
Trustee Williams, yes.
Next, we have our approval to advertise for bids for roof replacement at elementary schools.
I'll make a motion.
Second?
You have the motion in a second. Any discussion? And call roll, please.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez.
Yes?
Trustee Maleta.
Yes.
Trustee Williams, yes. Trustee Wilkie.
Yes.
Now we have our approval to advertise for bids for mechanical upgrades at Portage High School.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
You have the motion in a second. Any discussion? And call roll, please.
Trustee Vasquez.
Yes?
Trustee Maleta.
Yes.
Trustee Williams, yes. Trustee Wilkie.
Yes.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Next, we have our acceptance of the ESSER II grant funds.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
We have the motion second. Any discussion? And call roll, please.
Trustee Maleta.
Yes.
Trustee Williams, yes. Trustee Wilkie.
Yes.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez.
Yes?
Next, we have our 2022 to 2023 calendar resolution.
Make a motion.
I'll read I have to read the resolution first.
Oh, sorry.
I think so.
In the zone.
Yeah, we're on a roll. Resolution R13-2021, resolution of the School Board of Trustees of the Portage Township School Corporation regarding a start date for each school year across the state of Indiana. Whereas the Portage Township School Board of Trustees has been advised by the Indiana Tourism Association and the Lake and Porter County Tourism Boards regarding the negative impact of starting school too early on the tourism industry. And whereas visitors spend over $13.2 billion yearly to the over 80 destinations represented by the Indiana Tourism Association, and whereas the trend over the last several years for the Indiana school districts to move up their annual start date has negatively impacted tourism, and the Indiana Tourism Association has undertaken a study to show the effects of an early school start date as it pertains to the thriving business, tax revenue for the state and schools, as well as support for longer tourism season. Whereas Senate Bill 124 and the proposed study committee is the first step to bring all parties to the table for an in-depth, data-driven discussion. Whereas the tourism industry has watched the transition take place as it has adversely affected the tourism industry across the state in many ways. And whereas the primary impact has been creating a lack of employee availability, as many of the high school students work at places like Holiday World, Splash and Safari, Dunes Public Beach, and many others. Whereas Indiana has seen a loss in sales revenue in the tourism industry, which is a direct detriment to the revenue available to the schools. Now therefore be it resolved by the School Board of Trustees of Portage Township Schools that 1, the Portage Township Schools will commit to start their school calendar as late as possible given all other considerations with the intent to not negatively impact the Indiana tourism industry. 2, Portage Township School Board of Trustees hereby directs its superintendent to provide this resolution to other school districts within Northwest Indiana or the entire state of Indiana in an effort to encourage them to do the same. And 3, the School Board of Trustees of Portage Township School Corporation will endeavor to communicate this concern to all school districts in Northwest Indiana and the state of Indiana in an attempt to encourage them to start their school year as late as possible, given all other considerations. Passed and adopted by the Board of School Trustees on the 10th day of May, 2021. Now, do we have a motion to approve Resolution R13-2021?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
You have the motion and a second. Any discussion?
I'd like to
yeah,
just say that, you know, I understand what the Tourism Association is suggesting, and I think it's important. But I also think having the schools or the students start a little bit later, it's really in the best interest of the students and the families to spend more time together and enjoy those summer days. I think there'll be, and not only the students, the staff as well. So I encourage this to happen, and I look forward to having that dialogue with our superintendent and the other superintendents in Porter County as well.
Great, thank you. Yeah, this is a great first step, and I agree. There's so many effects of starting the school early. I mean, one, there's air conditioning in our buildings and the cost that's associated with that. There's the students, the high school students who have summer jobs, who have to end those, right at the end of July, the 1st of August now, where they have an opportunity, and there's a lot of families and a lot of kids who need that income. That summer jobs are extremely important to them. So I just think, and the effect it does have on the tourism, and let's face it, Portage, we've got a beach, we've got a national park here that negatively affects it when it has to really kind of wind itself down so early. So I think there are a lot of factors. I'm glad we're getting out ahead of this. I'd like to see this resolution go to all school board members if possible too, not just depend. I don't want to just depend on the school corporations. I don't mean that in a negative way to get that to those other board members, but I think we should initiate that if we could, please.
Sure. So I can work to accomplish that by having the email address, those public email addresses from every board president in the area, and make sure that they get that.
Great, thank you.
I'm wondering if we could also include the association, the teachers' associations, or...
Okay, I will do my best to try to see how we can contact them. If nothing else, I can share this with Sean Chamberlain and ask her to please forward along to colleagues who are overseeing teacher associations across the area.
Okay, thank you.
And Trustee Miletta, you just said what I was going to say about students needing to work a little bit longer over the summer. I mean, we're talking about, as you drive around now and you're going out to different places, there are a number of openings, and this is an opportunity really for our kids to really make some money. I know that in the past, our parks director here, Lori Wilkie, she would hire students, and I know there's probably a certain cutoff, so there's some benefit here to right here in Portage where we reside to be able to keep those kids on a little bit longer to make some money. So thank you for encouraging this resolution, because it did come out of some conversation, so thank you for moving this forward.
Welcome, thank you. Any other comments, discussion? We'll call the roll, please.
Trustee Williams, yes. Trustee Wilkie?
Yes.
Trustee Finley?
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez?
Yes.
Trustee Miletta?
Yes. Okay, we have our first reading of the revision to policy 6320, purchasing. Do we have a motion to approve the first reading of the revision to policy 6320, purchasing?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
The motion and a second. Any discussion? So this, basically, Dr. Allens could explain exactly what the revisions were.
Sure. So our internal team, who is working through the bond process, continues to meet with our professional services, with Alliance Architects and Skillman Corporation. Through the conversation of making certain that we can continue to have our bids come in where they remain competitive, for instance, that if you do not receive the bid on one of the first projects we do, we want to continue to keep those things rolling to keep people engaged so that you might get the next one. And just keeps those bids being more competitive that way. So with that in mind, the resolution, or excuse me, the amendment to the policy would be that it does not have to be opened at the board table. The bids are not required by law to be opened at the board table, but the board has continued to do that just to create that additional layer of transparency. So in order to do that and be able to bring recommendations to you in a quicker manner that keeps things flowing through such a large project of $17 million, I had spoke with Attorney Elwood and asked if we could consider an amendment that would allow for he, as the board's attorney, to be present at the bid openings and then report those bids to you while they're being taken under advisement. Did I sum that up, Attorney Elwood?
You did, and it would actually take a special vote of the board per project. So it's not changing the policy.
Right.
It's just the ability for the superintendent to come to you and say, hey, for efficiency purposes, it makes sense to do it this way versus at an open board meeting. And it saves you guys a lot of special meetings as well. So that's the idea behind it.
Great, thank you. Okay, any other discussion? Can you call the roll, please?
Trustee Wilkie.
Yes.
Trustee Finley.
Yes.
Trustee Vasquez.
Yes.
Trustee Maleta.
Yes.
Trustee Williams, yes.
Okay, next we have our superintendent reports. Dr. Alanis.
So I just want to echo the appreciation for the Portage Township Education Foundation and all that they do to collaborate on various levels. They are often either retired teachers or those who have families and full-time positions themselves that are just dedicated to the cause of educating kids in a public school setting here in Portage. So we're grateful for them and all of the communication that I receive to continue to be informed and help problem solve whenever I can. It's a great opportunity that not only benefits our teachers and staff, but obviously, most importantly, our students. I, of course, also want to congratulate Mrs. Caballero on her achievement of the middle school principal, District 1 Principal of the Year. It is very well deserved. Her hard work continues to pay off for students across this district. I also wanted to inform you that I'm going to combine the update from last week and this week. Things just got away from me, so I know that you're always flexible with me in that when that needs to occur, so I thank you for that and knew that you wouldn't mind me doing that. Prom, I did send you just a really short snippet. It was a great success. I had sent a message to our leadership team, the principals at the high school, for their hard work, the hard work of the teacher sponsors and the student committee that put that together. It was a great opportunity. Our kids, of course, handled themselves very well, and it was a great evening for all, and much deserved and much anticipated. So thank you for approving that plan so that then we could get it to the health department for approval. But it definitely did not skimp on being special just because it was at the field house instead of another location. Our seniors, as you know, they are continuing to just kind of chug along with these last few weeks and embrace everything that's coming. I know that Mrs. Devers-Lowy did release a new Seniors 2021 frame for Facebook that we're encouraging everyone, just like we did last week for Teacher Appreciation. So we're going to continue to do some of those fun things just to, again, show the support of the kids. Also, just an update on the projects as you approved this evening for the the advertisement for the roofing projects. It's a great and exciting time because Mile has definitely wanted those to get accomplished as those warranties are expiring. The only other item I had here for you was, I've lost it. I think I'm good.
Thank you. All right. Are there any items not on the agenda that the board would like to bring up at this time?
I would like to report on that last Wednesday, the 5th, I attended the Seniors Awards Night here in this auditorium. There were 61 scholarships that were presented, and approximately 24 well-deserved students received them. Some of the scholarships presented were the Bill Bodner, Jim Carpenter, Myron Fresser, Jeffrey Pogorski, Dusty Rhodes, their memorial scholarships, as well as the Valpo University Honors, IUN Academic, Purdue University Presidential, Willow Creek and Fagley Middle School Awards, the Lilly Endowment Scholarships, that's just to name a few. The valedictorian and salutatorian awards were also presented during this evening, during that memorable evening, and I just wanted to report that Mr. Stills and Ms. Nelson did a remarkable job. So congratulations to all of those students and their families.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
And I wanted to share as well that Trustee Vasquez and I had the wonderful opportunity to attend National Day of Prayer breakfast last week. It was very nice where we had a number of our clergy from the community come out and surround us with a lot of love and support as they wanted to hear about a lot of things that were happening in the community, including our schools. And did a lot of prayer, found out about a lot of projects that were going on, that were taking place within the city, and we look forward to being a part of this event next year because we know that we need that same kind of support for our schools moving forward. So we did mention that, so thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from the board? Okay. Did we get any public comment forms?
We did not.
We did not, okay. So our next meeting will be May the 24th at 5 p.m. Back here at the East Auditorium. And then, of course, right after that, we've got our high school graduation on June the 6th. We're looking forward to that. So
That was my other item.
if no one has anything else, meeting is adjourned. Thank you.